Hello, my name is Sara. I'm a 4-H and youth development educator with Purdue Extension in Vigo County. I'm staying at home today like many of you, and I thought this would be a great time to share some bicycling tips, one of my favorite hobbies. So let's start off with some safety tips. When it comes to safety, first let's talk about helmets. A helmet is very important to your safety and should be worn at all times riding your bike, no matter what kind of ride you're doing or where you're riding at. So you have your helmet. It's important to have a good fit. So some tips on a good fit. You want to put your helmet on, obviously. Snug it down. You want your helmet nice and level. You don't want it tilted back or forward. Nice and level there on your head. You want to adjust the dial so it's nice and tight around your head and you don't have any movement when you try and shake your head before clasping your strap down here. In addition, you want to have about 2 fingers of space between your eyebrow and the top of your helmet here. You want to have a V shape around your ears, so these straps here should form a V, like so. And then you want to be able to fit about 1 finger underneath the chin strap to give you plenty of room. It's also important to think about how old your helmet is. The Consumer Products Safety Commission recommends helmets be replaced every 5 to 10 years. And the way you tell how old your helmet is inside your helmet there'll be a sticker with a date on it. So you can check the date of your helmet, see how old it is. You also want to replace your helmet after any time you've had a crash or collision with the helmet. So over time and after a crash, the components of the helmet can break down and reduce the safety functionality of your helmet. So it's really important to keep that up to date and in good shape to keep you safe. Of course, now we have to have special considerations for COVID-19. This means continuing to stay inside if you're sick, following good hygiene practices. Some other considerations right now is that your bathroom and water fountain access at public parks and areas is going to be limited. So come prepared, whether you have a backpack with a water bottle or if you have a water bottle holder on your bike. You may also want to choose a different time to take your bike ride. Lower traffic time, so if in the afternoon around 4 o'clock seems to be very popular, can you go earlier or later in the day? You may want to seek out additional routes that may not be as popular in the community. So being able to maintain your 6 feet of distance is very important. Next, let's talk about trail etiquette. Here in Vigo County, we're lucky to have the Heritage Trail. It's a very popular spot for people walking their dogs, jogging, and riding their bike. It's important that all trail users use the trail appropriately. This includes staying to the right. And when you need to pass a slower moving person, you announce to them that you're passing, whether verbally or with a bell on your bike. You'll want to yield to the other trail users because pedestrians always have the right of way. It's also important to yield when you're entering or crossing a trail. So make sure you stop and check both ways before entering in case there's faster moving bike traffic or runners. If you do have to stop to check something on your bike, take a break. It's important to move off the trail, so giving everyone who is using the trail that proper space and giving them plenty of room to get around you. Next, let's talk about riding on the road, because it may be more convenient to ride in the road, or you may need to ride in the road to access other trails and bike paths. You need to ride predictably at all times, but especially when riding in the road, so traffic knows what to expect. You need to follow the rules of the road, just like any car or the other traffic does. This includes stopping at stop signs, abiding by lane markings, and other general traffic flow. Again, just like on the trail, you need to stay to the right. This means riding with traffic. So you're going to be riding on the same side as traffic is traveling, not going directly against it. Very important to ride on the right side of the road. You also will need to signal where you're going, so that way the traffic and any other road users know where you're going. Now when you're signaling, generally you'll want to keep your right hand on your handlebar to allow yourself access to the brake at all times. So if you're turning left, you'll want to put your arm out, point to a left-hand turn. Now, if you're turning right, you do have a couple options. If you do want to keep your hand on that right brake, you can put your arm up like this. This will signify a left-hand turn. Personally, I prefer to just point in the direction that I'm turning, so I'll switch my hand over here and point to the right-hand side. And if you're coming to a stop, it's putting your hand down like this. In Indiana, there is a 3-foot passing law. This means that any traffic that needs to pass you must give you at least 3 feet of room and do so at a safe point in your ride. Finally, I'd like to give you some tips on being seen while you're biking. The first thing you can do is throw on some high visibility clothing. This is something really easy if you're riding during the day, to ride with lighter colors that are more visible to trail users and traffic. If you are wanting to ride at night when light might be lower, or we have during the winter when we have less hours of light, you'll definitely want to grab a set of bike lights. So bike lights, you can get a white front light to shine off the front handlebar, and then you'll want a red light to shine off the back of your bike. The white light will help you see what's in front of you and be seen, while the rear light will make you very visible from the rear. And those are all my bike safety tips for today. Have questions? Leave us a comment and ask your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them.